All right, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shiva David Baruch Hashem. We have a nice, it's a rainy day, a little bit, and it's nice and cold. So Baruch Hashem, we're in Eretz Yisrael. And let us remember and thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu always for this opportunity. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Hashem gives us the beautiful weather, 330 days out of the year, right?
No.
Yeah, no, comfortable weather. We have 330 days out of the year. So we have sometimes get a little rain and it's good. Baruch Hashem. We have to take it. It's all great. Baruch Hashem. All right, we're learning Likutey Halachos and we're learning Hilchos Brachas HaPeiros. We're learning about all the different peiros of Eretz Yisrael. And they were telling me when it's cold and wet in Eretz Yisrael, especially here in the Gush, is where we have the cherry capital of the country. We grow the most cherries here in the Gush. That's what they said. And we get very good and sweet cherries when it's cold and wet. So there we have something good to look at, look forward to, Mitzvah Hashem, okay? And we're also coming up to Tu B'Shvat, so we're learning Hilchos Brachas HaPeiros. What a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, we're in Hilchos Brachas HaPeiros, we're in Halacha Gimel, and today we're up to the letter Hey, 5. Okay, for those that are following along inside. So yesterday we introduced this idea of the olive. Okay, the Shivas Haminim. You have an olive in the Shivas Haminim, and we said that the olive is a very unique fruit. Is it considered a fruit? Is an olive considered a fruit?
Probably.
A what? Olive?
An olive, yeah. It's not a vegetable, so it's probably a fruit. Right? Okay. We'll call it a fruit. Okay, we'll call it the olive. The olive. We'll call it the olive. Right? We live in the olive, right? So we'll call it the olive, right? We live in the olive, right? We live, right? We're in the Zayat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very Priya AIDS, yeah. So okay. So we said that the olive is very strange because the Gemara, the Chazal have different opinions about the olive, right? If you eat the olive raw, so then it says it's kosher l'shikcha, it causes the person to forget his Torah learning, and it's not good for the person. However, if you take the olive and you crush the olive, you press the olive, and you have oil, and then you have the olive oil. The olive oil is very good for your zikaron. So it's very strange, right? And on one hand, the olive will cause you to forget, but on the other hand, the same olive, the oil that comes from the olive is great for you. So we said, how does it work? And we said that's the way Torah is, and that's the way a person is. We are like ki ha'adam hu eitz hasoda. The Torah says, it's pasuk says, ki ha'adam hu eitz hasoda. The same way a person, if he has to break himself to learn to Misha Meimis, if anyone that kills them to try to understand the Torah, that person will be able to see the beauty in the Torah. Okay, and that's the same idea with the olive. And now we said a very interesting thing, that the olive is also most shiurim of Torah, of measurements, of things that we eat, shiurim of tumah, it's always considered based on the olive. Kizayis, right? Did you eat a kizayis? Okay, we're not going to discuss here what the shittas are of what a zayis is. Really, it's very small. It's not very big. There are many, many different shittas on what a kizayis is. Okay. What?
There's a bunch of different olive sizes.
I understand. No. Okay,
people sizes too.
No, we could discuss that later. But for this purpose of the class, we're just discussing the idea of the olive and why is it that the olive is the fruit that's used to make the determination of the measurement that you need to eat in order to accomplish, to fulfill, let's say, your obligation of eating matzah, of eating maror, of eating whatever you're eating. Or we're going to be learning also about Brachah Achrona soon, right? Did you eat a kizayis of that amount of food? If you did, then you're required to make a Brachah Achrona, and so on. Right, so we're going to, let's understand that. Al kain, shir achila kizayis, va'oz tzrichin levorach bracha achrona. Okay, so if you ate this thing of a kizayis, right? Then you have to make the bracha achrona. Not just the bracha before you eat, but the bracha after you eat. Now we said that we learned out the brachas before we eat. We learned it out from Brachas Hamazon. Remember? It says v'yachalta v'savata v'rachta. So Chazal say, if you're going to make a bracha and you're going to thank Hashem after you eat, halachos kama v'kama, you should thank Hashem before you eat, and that's where the bracha from the Birchas Nenin came about, from that idea. You'll make a bracha before you partake in whatever you're going to eat. All right, but now there's also a bracha achrona. Now the bracha achrona is based on if you ate a kezayis. Because the main achila we said is because of the nefesh. Right? We said in everything that we eat, there's a nefesh inside there. There's a nefesh inside of everything we eat, and we're trying to always be ma'ala the nefesh. We want to raise up that nefesh that's in there. Tzaddik oichel l'sayveya nafshe. The same way it says that the tzaddik eats in order to be sayveya, to satiate his nefesh. Right? Because we said like this. When we eat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts us in situations where we are, and we get certain foods and different things that contain in it many times parts of our own nefesh, of our own soul. And these are parts of our own soul that we have to elevate. So when we make those brachas on what we eat, good morning, Hanif. When we make those brachas on what we have, on what we're eating, that Hashem put in front of us, we can be ma'ala the nefesh, and comes back to us to give us back what we need to fulfill our nefesh, ruach, neshama, chay, yechid. Okay, to fill okay. But now, when the tzaddik is eating, we said if the tzaddik is eating, but the tzaddik didn't have anything that he's lacking, the fact that he eats something and there's a nefesh in there, he causes an elevation of the nefesh, so then he gets in return an elevation himself because he was ma'ala on nefesh. You understand? So the tzaddik is always eating to be able to satiate his nefesh, the nefesh. Okay. In order that his soul can be more illuminated, right? The more, like to say, we said them. We're learning also the laws in Kiltzah Shulchan Aruch of Brias of how do you be healthy, right? So we're learning the beautiful laws that the body has a certain temperature, right? We have a certain temperature in our body, right? 98.6 or what is it in Celsius?
36.6, no?
36.6. There we go. Okay, but if it's higher or lower than that, there's a problem. Right? We want the temperature to be exactly that. Now, where does the temperature come from? Comes from our food. We eat. Right? The body needs to maintain its heat. Right? So how does it get its heat? When you give it food, it feeds the fire in the body and it keeps the temperature of the body healthy. Right? And we said we don't want to give the body too much food, because if we do, the body can't process the food. Right? And we said if you have an oven, that you put too much wood in there. Right? You have an oven, you stuff the oven too much with wood. It'll be very hard for that wood to burn because there's too much wood in there. But if you have an oven that has a capacity to put in, let's say, 20 logs, and you only put in 5 logs, I'll give an example. You could put in 5. That fire will burn very well on the onset. Why? Because you're giving it space for it to work. So here, the same way the tzaddik's nefesh, he's not eating too much. He's eating what he has to eat. So therefore, his nefesh can be illuminated much more because he's gaining more. You understand? Because that there are souls in all of the food that we're eating, it's amazing. It takes a different perspective of your food when you're eating it. You know, as you think you're eating just the food and I'm eating my meal, but your meal is it's alive. There's a lot of souls in that meal. It's a whole different idea of looking at the way food is. When you eat, like the tzaddik eats, and you make the bracha, and you realize, wait, Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokeinu Melech Olam. Oh Hashem, you're the king of the world. Oh, it's you. You're in charge. You made this fruit. It's you that made it. It's not the farmer. It's not the ground. It's you that made it. So then, if a person does that, of course, he's making a big kavana, so then his achila is going to lift up his nefesh, it's going to illuminate his nefesh. And therefore, the shear of achila, that requires a person to make the after bracha, right? The bracha achrona is a kizayis. Why specifically the kizayis? Shehu bechinas ha'torah, bechinas guf v'nefesh, shichcha v'zikaron. Because, like we said, the olive has in it two aspects. It has an aspect of forgetfulness. It can cause you to forget your Torah if you eat the olive without it being processed. Right? You just eat a raw olive. It'll cause you to forget. But if you take that same olive, you crush it and press it. So then that same olive will cause you to have zikaron. Right? The same thing with the nefesh. We said the same thing with the nefesh. If you make the bracha correctly, you elevate the soul, right? If you don't make the bracha correctly, you don't think what you're doing, you cause damage to the soul. Chas v'sholom. Yes?
This also says that if you eat too much, you will forget.
I understand. We said it yesterday. If you eat too much, we're going to learn. Actually, that halacha we're going to learn today in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. If you eat too much, it causes the vapors from the stomach to go up to the brain to cause the damage in the person's mind. So again, if a person eats too much, it can cause a person to people have migraines. They wonder, why do I have migraines? Where are all these migraines coming? It's
eating too much.
They're eating wrong causes migraine. Yeah, that's what we're going to learn today. Kids, that we're going to learn today.
Doctors don't know all this.
Okay, bebechinas guf v'nefesh shichcha v'zikaron shezeu ikar achila lahales lahora nefesh mitoich haguf. The whole point is to illuminate the nefesh inside the guf. Right? We have the guf, and we all relate to our guf. But the question is, how do you relate to your nefesh that's inside the guf? That's actually giving your body the vitality for it to exist. Right? If you take the nefesh out of the body, what is the body worth? You can have the strongest guy in the world, but if his nefesh is taken from him, he's useless. He's just a pile of dirt. It's useless. To take the Torah, right, which is the nefesh, and the zikaron that comes like from the olive, like we said, the olive oil. From amongst the forgetfulness and the guf. And therefore the Torah tells us that we have to constantly remember Hashem. But more so to remember Hashem while you're eating. Right? There's a mitzvah to remember Hashem. But while you're eating, remember Hashem. Pen toicha v'savata, lest you eat and you become satiated. What's so funny?
No, could you say remember Hashem? It's like, but if I eat too much, I won't remember to say.
No, it says pen. Look at the words. Pen toicha v'savata, lest you eat too much and you're satiated. Virom livavecha, and now your heart will become very, very arrogant. Your heart becomes very arrogant because you ate such a good meal. V'shochachta Hashem, and you'll forget Hashem. So from the food, that's the whole point. So that means if you eat wrong, you'll forget Hashem. If you eat correctly, of course you remember Hashem. Right? Midah tov is always meruba. Right? They always say that midah tov is always meruba. Right? The good thing is always better. So if the Torah tells you, lest I eat too much, and then I'll become haughty, I'll become arrogant, and then I'll forget Hashem. If I eat the right way and I remember Hashem while I'm eating, that Hashem gave me this food, so then of course I'll be closer with Hashem. V'zacharta es Hashem alekecha ki hu ha'nosein lecha koyach. Remember Hashem, because Hashem is the one that gave you the wherewithal for you to earn the money, for you to go to the place, to get the food, to grow the food, to make your meal, whatever it is. It was HaKadosh Baruch Hu that gave you everything. He gave you the ideas on how to do it. He gave you it's all Me'ez Hashem.
Even on the physical level.
Yes.
I'm saying that we all know what happens when overeating. It just like falls.
You can't do anything. Exactly. Ki b'shas achila tzrichin lizor b'yoser sheloi yufkam hazikaron shehu b'chinas nefesh b'chinas haTorah. Remember, you don't forget. Don't damage your memory, which is actually your nefesh and your Torah. It's really fascinating. It's really, truly fascinating. But I just hold on. I just want to open up the Kitzur Shulchan and learn today's halacha right here. Right over here. You'll see this is it's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Here, we're going to quickly open up the Kitzur just for a minute. We're going to come right back. But this is so amazing. This is really what we're learning right here. This is so amazing. So we're in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Lamed Beis, Sif Lamed Beis, Shmiras Haguf al Pi HaTeva. Shmiras Haguf al Pi HaTeva. How do you naturally keep your body healthy? How do you keep your body healthy? Look what he says here in Dalit. Ha'oda benurav koyach ha'ikol sheloi chazak. When a person's young, his digestive system, of course, works very well, right? When the person's young. So therefore, a young person needs more food than a person that's middle-aged, right? When you have an older person and he's a little weaker, he has to eat very light food. Very light food, light food. Ma'at bekamas v'rav ve'echos la'achzokas koichai. Now this is the one. Now let's go to Hey, okay? Bimei hachoim nechsholim kilei ha'ikol min hachoim. When it comes to the summertime, the digestive system is weakened because of the heat. Because again, the body is constantly maintaining its heat. When in the summertime, the body
better digestion in the winter.
Better digestion in the wintertime. Yeah, well, he explained. No, but why? Because in the summertime, we're trying to maintain either 36 by 6 or 98.6. Same idea, right? Right? You're supposed to maintain our body temperature, right? So in the summertime, the body has to constantly work to cool the body down because it's hotter outside. So the body has to cool it down. So it's working. Right, so it's working. So if you put too much food in there, it doesn't have enough energy to keep the temperature correctly and also process the food. You understand? You overload the body. This is fascinating. Is this amazing? Yana, did you ever hear this before? No. This is amazing, right? This is halacha. It's amazing. Therefore, when it comes to the summertime, eat a little bit less than you eat in the wintertime. What?
Winter portions.
Winter portion, a little more, right? Only 2/3 of what you normally eat in the summertime. What you eat in the time of Geshamim. Isn't it nice? We live in Eretz Yisrael and the Yemei Geshamim. See that? It's really amazing. You see how halacha is really around Shulchan Aruch. Because anywhere else you live in the world, there's no Yemei Geshamim. It rains all the time. It's amazing, right? Well, come on. Where'd you come from, sir? Where'd you come from?
They say you come.
You come from New York. So is there any rhyme or reason when it rains?
No,
No rhyme or reason, right?
There's something positive, though.
Yeah.
There's
No.
something nice about a sun shower. That's it. But yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's very hot, and then you get.
I like the division. It's good. This is Yemei Geshamim.
But here we have the Yemei
Geshamim. We're
Geshamim.
davening for it, and we're getting it real good.
And it's amazing. Mamish amazing.
Wait, so you're eating more in the winter.
Yeah, you're eating more in the winter.
This tracks. It was very cold. And
No, because in the wintertime you need more energy to keep the body temperature up. So in the summertime, it's fascinating how halacha works. It's unbelievable. In the summertime, the body is already fighting the heat, so it needs to cool it down. So don't put more don't put more wood into the oven. If you put more wood into the oven, it's going to have to burn it up, and it's going to be more difficult. You understand? There's such a beauty. It's unbelievable. But when it comes to the wintertime, now it's colder outside than the body temperature. So the body has to warm itself up. So give it more food. So it can make more, it can warm up, it can process the food, and it can also maintain the body temperature. Is that fascinating?
I might have thought it would have been just the opposite.
No, but I'm explaining to you why.
No, I know.
This is the
It's
system.
unbelievable, yeah.
This is the way it works. Yeah.
I thought also that was exactly like you. But
No, but I'm explaining the way does it make sense the way we explain
it
it?
makes sense beautiful.
Okay.
And it also tracks because on a personal level, like I usually do eat more during the summer because I'm working outside and like I feel like I gotta rebuild fuel.
Right, but then you get weaker.
And then I'm just like, oh.
You get weaker because the body is, and then you know why? Because the body is overworking. The body is overworking, right?
Yeah, but we're not talking about drinking like water.
No, we're not talking. We're talking about food. Here we're talking about food.
In northern cultures, people eat fatter foods.
Yeah.
In the winter when it's colder. Like
Yeah, because they need it. They need it. They need it.
Mentally, in
calories.
modern speak, we all like look at winter food like, oh, it's cold outside. I need some comfort food. I need to eat something hot and like carbs and like big like.
In the summertime,
In the winter,
yeah, you need, because
You feel
you
it.
want that. No, because the body needs two things. It needs to keep going. It has to process the food, but it also needs the extra heat in order to maintain the temperature of the body. That's why people get sick in the wintertime, because the body is trying to maintain its temperature, and you're not feeding it correctly.
And
It's bad. No, it's really. If you follow halacha, the chapter is how can you be healthy naturally? So he's telling you how to do it. How you eat. You're supposed to eat heavier foods in the wintertime because this way the body can have more fuel in order to. Yesterday we learned in Kids Shulchan Aruch, he gave us the example. It's like an oven, right? You have an oven. You fill up an oven with wood. I used to do that upstate New York. We had an oven, a wood burning oven. Yeah, outdoors. It was amazing. But if you fill it up too much, it takes a very long time for it to make the fire. It'll make the fire sooner or later, but it'll take a very, very long time. But if you only put in half, then the fire goes up right away. You get heat right away. It's amazing. And then put a little bit more in. He said that's how our stomachs work. If you overload the stomach, so then the stomach can't crush the food. The stomach works, it contracts and it expands and it contracts. It processes the food. It can't process the food if there's too much food inside there. So therefore the person has a stomach ache. That's where stomach aches come from. The stomach is working too hard to try to process the food. So then it goes, it puts on, it gives you the, what do you call it, the idiot light, right? It comes up, says stomach ache.
And
You overfilled it.
How long ago was this written? It's like no one knows this. I mean, some people know it today.
It's
but
amazing. No, they won't tell you that today because the food industry doesn't want you to know this. Right? The food industry wants you to buy all the stuff, right? They always want you to buy this stuff. Okay, here we go. Don't damage your zikaron. And actually in Vav, he goes over to explain if you shouldn't go to sleep, you shouldn't eat and then go to sleep right away. Why? Because then he says then the vapors of the acid in the stomach make their way up to the mind, to the mayach. And then it causes a pollution in the mind, and then the person winds up with his headache. That's how, and then I believe that's where all the migraines and all this, the reason for these migraines, and people have all these headaches today. They're not following what the Shulchan Aruch is.
Where was this in the Shulchan Aruch just now?
Shmiras haguf ala teva. It's 32. 30. Yeah, it's 32. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch 32. Lamed Beis. And today we did the Daled and Hey. Lave. Yeah, lave. You see your heart. You see that? Okay. Okay. What? Yes, quite a coincidence. Right. The Hainu Shelo Koruch Achar Haguf HaMesaveh. Don't go after your body that's desiring the taiva. The body wants it. But why does the body want it? But we just learned it's not good for the body. So why does the body want it? Because the body's connected to the Sitra Achar. The Sitra Achar doesn't want us to be healthy. Because if we're not healthy, we can't serve Hashem. Oh, you have a headache. I can't go to shul today. Oh, you have a headache. I can't learn today. Oh, you have a this. My stomach hurts. I can't. I have to go to the bed. It's all that. So again, we're learning here how you could work it's amazing how Allah is working together with us. I promise you, I didn't design this. This is Hashem did this. Okay, this is not me. Okay. But how we're learning this, and it is perfect in line with this. Plus, we're learning Hilchas Birchas HaPeiros, getting ready for Tu B'Shvat. It's unbelievable, right? I think so. Okay. But so the body wants it. But again, if you give credence to the nefesh, you make the bracha correctly, remember Hashem, so then you'll wind up becoming healthier as well. You understand? The nefesh wants you to be healthy. The nefesh wants you to be healthy. Why? Because the nefesh wants to be in this world to do more mitzvahs, to accomplish more mitzvahs and more masan tovim, more esbaidus. They want to be more. It wants to be more connected to Hashem. The guf says, "No, I don't need it." The guf is lazy. The guf is like the offer. We said that the world was made with four components, right? We have eish, we have ruach. We have mayim and offer, right? We have the four. Those are the four components. You have fire, you have wind, water, and dirt. Offer, right? Dirt. The body is connected to the dirt. Hashem took from the offer from all over the world, and He made Adam, right? So the body wants to always be lazy. The body doesn't want to do anything. Oh, the nefesh wants us to be healthy. That's the whole idea of shikha. The body wants to forget what's important. The body doesn't care about next world. The body doesn't care about anything. The body doesn't care about Torah. It just wants to enjoy. What we're supposed to do is we're supposed to nullify the body while we're eating. And just pay attention to the mind, to the nefesh. That's why if you watch the tzaddik eating, the tzaddik will sit there and contemplate before he takes any bite. Why? He's not thinking about the food itself and what he's going to gain physically. He's thinking about the nefesh that's in that food. To break the taiva of the guf that wants to eat, that desires to eat. Rather eat with holiness and sanctity, the same way the tzaddik eats in order to take care of his nefesh, not his guf. See, it's interesting. L'saveya nafshoy. The tzaddik is not eating l'saveya's gufay. He's the l'saveya nafshoy, his nefesh. He's working, understands that it's all about the nefesh, it's not about the guf. Memel, if the nefesh is good, of course the guf will be okay.
The focus.
And through you lifting up these nefashos that are in the food that you're eating. When you're eating your food, there are nefashos in there. So then when these nefashos go into the stomach, they're saying, hey, what did you do? You put me in there and you didn't, and why is it really, what's really going on? When you ate the food and you didn't think about Hashem, so now this nefesh didn't get its aliyah, it didn't get to be elevated, to be removed, it didn't get to be elevated, and it didn't get redeemed. So now you just ate this nefesh, it's now in your stomach, and it's angry at you. Why am I in here? So the nefesh is protesting. That's really what's going on. You understand? When you eat the food, in all food, there are souls. So when you make the bracha and think of Hashem, you elevate the soul. Then the food goes in, this nefesh was released, the food goes in, the body processes the food, everything's great. But when you eat the food, then you didn't think of Hashem and you didn't make the bracha correctly, so now the nefesh comes inside of the person, and the nefesh is fighting with the stomach. He's fighting with the person. You didn't release me. It's amazing when you really understand what's going on. No one would ever know that there's souls in their food. But if you learn anything from the Arizal, from Chaim Vital, you learn anything from the Zayah, there's nefashos in everything. And in the bracha itself, if someone doesn't believe you, why when you eat food, do you make the bracha, borei nefashos rabbis v'chesroinan? Why is the bracha that way? If you tell this to somebody, they say, I don't believe in this food, there's souls in my food. That's nonsense, right? So I'll say, okay, and then when you finished eating your apple, what bracha do you make? Oh, you make a bari in the nefashos. Okay, could you explain to me why you're talking about souls in the bracha? The bracha should have been like this: Borei peiros, borei yerokos. It doesn't talk about what you ate. Mizoinos, it doesn't talk about that. It talks about the nefesh. Why? Did anyone ever think of that? No, but does it make sense?
Halachos were all the people, that's what I always.
No, but it makes sense. Now I'm just showing you how you make the bracha to what you're eating and how the digestion, it all works in so perfectly. And it all works based on the kizayas. The olive. Why the olive? Because the olive has has two criteria to it. It either can cause you to remember or it can cause you to forget. If you use the olive properly, you crush the olive, you press the olive, you get the oil out of the olive, that causes zikaron because you worked it through. But if you just eat the olive by itself, that'll cause you to forget your Torah, to forget Hashem.
So we should always eat more than a kazayat, because then we get to say a bracha.
You have to always eat a kazayat, yeah.
I'm saying, rather than I'm going to eat a kazayat, so I won't have to say the bracha.
Less than a kazayat. I'll eat only one. I'll eat only one thing, so then I don't have to make the other. But okay, that's okay. No, but if you can make the bracha, is always good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Always remember Hashem, your God. Hanemar be'inyan achila. That's talking about specifically when it comes to eating. We learned you can get closer to Hashem via eating. If you learn how to do it properly, then you can learning a blat Gemara. Is that amazing? You could get closer to Hashem, recognizing that Hashem gave me this food. And there's a soul in it. And this soul that's in this food has something to do with my soul. And I have an opportunity now to elevate the soul in this food. Could you imagine that? We all have that opportunity at that moment to elevate that soul that's in that food. If I do it right. If you do it correctly. Right? So then they'll say, so what's the difference here? How you do it? So I always like to say like this, if you have a special a combination lock, right? You have a safe, right? You have a safe, right? And you want to open up the safe, right? So if you have to have the numbers and you have to turn the dial exactly, right? You ever do that? Anyone ever do that, right? And if you just get one thing off, you have to start over again. But I got all the numbers right. I turned the thing. Yeah, but you didn't turn it just right. Well, that's how it is when we make our brachas. When we make our bracha correctly, if we think about it, we do everything the way we're supposed to do it, we can actually elevate that soul. Isn't that a beautiful thing? If we pay attention to what we're doing. And if you don't, it doesn't work. The same way you're trying to open up the lock and it won't open up the lock. Even though I did everything,
and we get to
but you didn't do it.
Activity.
Right?
We get to do a chesed when we do that.
Yes, because there's like the Brachah says, Bari nefashos rabbis v'chesron, and they're lacking. What are they lacking? Their tikkun. They're lacking their tikkun. I can give them their tikkun via my eating and making the bracha. Right? That's what they're lacking. Why is a nefesh lacking anything? It needs its tikkun. It was in this fruit. It was in this sandwich. It was in this thing. It needs to be elevated. Okay, ki al yedei achila b'kedusha zoichen lezikaron. Through eating b'kedusha, you could remember Hakadosh Baruch Hu. That's the memory that we're trying to do. Bechinas nefesh, bechinas Torah. Okay, so let's go. Can we do Vav? We have a little more time, guys, or we have to? We have time. You have a few more minutes.
Yes.
10 minutes. Okay, we'll start Vav. V'al kain. Bracha achroina tzricha shir v'shiura bekezayis aval bracha v'shoina ein lo shir. This is very interesting also. Now look, when it comes to making the after bracha, it has to have a shir of a kezayis. But when you want to take a taste of the thing, there's no shir. There's no measurement. If you want to taste it, you just make the bracha to taste it. But there's no bracha to make. There's no after bracha if you ate a shir kezayis. Then we're going to discuss why that is.
And tasting it, let's say you're cooking something.
Yes.
Tasting it, does that mean putting it in your mouth, like if you're like just you're making a sauce and you want to know, did I put enough salt? So you go and you taste it to see if it's salty enough. And
That's
you-
a
and
big.
you're not-
That's
and you're not going to
okay.
swallow it.
That's a machlokes. Okay, it's not so simple. But what I do, if I'm doing that, I'll eat
sure you
something
have
else.
enough.
I made a shackle, then I can taste the soup or whatever we're doing, whatever you're doing.
So just cover your bases.
Yeah, you just make another bracha for something, and then you have in mind that if I taste this, it'll be with that, and then it works good. Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you want to taste something like what the even grain of sugar.
You have to make a bracha. Yeah. But not everyone. It's
Something else.
yeah, but no. Everyone agrees that if I take a glass of water and I want to taste the sauce, and I made the bracha on the glass of water, or my glass of Coca-Cola, whatever it is, and then if I'm going to eat the soup, there's no problem. So try to do things to make the bracha there where you don't come into these questions, right? If you can.
Well, what
Okay.
if we
what?
didn't drink something, but it was small enough to taste it? We said the bracha anyway. Is that
He's saying that it's not something you're eating.
No, I know it's like a sauce.
Zed was saying that if you're making a sauce,
Your intent isn't to eat.
you just want to know if it needs any more seasoning.
Right, but so what if I do that? And can I say the bracha anyway without having something else first?
If you want to eat enough, if you say I'm going to eat it, yeah, then you can. The question is if you're just like a chef and you're not eating it, you need to just know what it tastes like. You're not trying to taste it. I don't want it at all.
But the before blessing doesn't require a minimum amount.
I understand, but that's when it's actual food. Here, this food he's making is in the process of being made.
Okay.
See, that's the
You're not
difference.
doing it for the purpose of eating it.
No. The difference is the thing is not ready yet. Right? Your sauce is not ready
You
yet.
just want to know where it's at.
Right. No. Right. You're right. Your sauce, it's not ready yet.
You're not eating
If you had it finished, there's no question. Right? But here the question is, it's not ready yet. So therefore, is it worthy for me to make the bracha on yet? That's the question. Okay.
For one it's ready, for the other one it's not ready. Machad ben dosa is like.
Yes. Okay. The ben doisa. So if you're a thief, okay. So then
It probably could be. It depends. Like if I want to eat it, if I don't want to eat it. Like just.
No, the
same
thief
way if
wants
I
to
don't
eat
see
his
a
food
bracha
much
on that-
quicker, right?
Yeah.
Malcolm Ben does. He wants to eat his food
No,
quickly. He doesn't have
same,
time
like
for it to cook.
Maybe depends on if I want to eat it or I don't want to eat it. Like just like
Yes,
pairing with
yes.
a piece of bread, right? So I don't say motze on a piece of bread. If I don't want the bread, I just
No, but we talked about that on Iker and Tuffle. That we learned the other day, right? If you want to eat, let's say tuna fish, or you want to eat egg salad or something like that, and you don't want to eat the cracker, you're just using the tray. You don't have a spoon, so there's only a cracker there, and you only really don't want to eat the cracker, so you don't make the bracha on the cracker. You only make the bracha on the Iker, not on the Tuffle.
Like a schnitzel.
Schnitzel too, yeah, right. Schnitzel, you know, right. You don't want to make a mazonos on the. It's only the coating on top. Perfect. Okay. Ki zikaron v'shichra ein shayich ki im shekvar yesh eze das. Okay. This idea. So this I'm going to explain to you with Avram Avinu. Okay. Let me just give you a little understanding here, so to help understand this next paragraph. Avram Avinu had his restaurant, right? He had his tent that was open on 4 directions, and all the way where any.
I think it was called Ohel Sarah, if I'm not mistaken.
He has all sorry. There we go. Okay, whatever. Okay, it was Avram's delicatessen, right? The Torah says that he had chardal and tongue, and he had Avram Avinu was the first kosher delicatessen.
Beit Tamchul.
Okay, but anyway, what's that?
Beit Tamchul.
Then Tamchul. Okay, but Avram Avinu would always have the people come in, and he never had them make a bracha rishona. He only made them make a bracha achrona after they ate. So they asked why. Why? Why didn't he say to them, hey, you're going to eat this thing, make a bracha? They didn't have the das yet. See, it says when you need to have das in order to make a bracha. These goyim that most of them were people that worshiped the dust, right? Because they were nomads or whatever they were out there. They weren't people that had any das at all. But when they came to Avram Avinu, and they gave Avram Avinu the opportunity to do a mitzvah of achnosas orchim, so that gave them a mitzvah. Because they came, because they arrived, Avram Avinu was able to serve them. Avraham Avinu got the mitzvah of Achnasa Zorcha only because they came. If they didn't show up, they didn't have that. So because they gave Avraham Avinu the opportunity to do a mitzvah, now they have a mitzvah for themselves. Now they have the das. So Avraham Avinu would tell them, okay, now that you ate, now thank God. And they would say, who's God? We don't, we ate your, we ate. Avraham Avinu said like this, look, Hashem gave me everything that I have here. It's all from Hashem. All right? So if you want to thank Hashem, go ahead, thank Hashem because it's all of His. Everything I gave you belongs to Hashem. So thank Hashem. And if they said, well, no, we don't want to thank Hashem. So he says, why aren't you going to thank Hashem? Well, because it's your food. Oh, it's my food? He took out his checkbook, he wrote them a check, and he said, here you go, you owe me this money. If it's my food, now you pay. Or they said, okay, no, it's Hashem's food, and they and they didn't have to pay. They said, thank you to Hashem, right?
Whoa.
No, that's what happened. That's what Avraham did. He was very smart. Avraham took out he made the cheshbon, right? He said, okay, here you go, you owe me this here, and he wants his tip also, right? Right? Local shirut, right?
So all the Kirov organizations do.
No. I'm just trying to explain. Okay, so here, look what he says. Here, why is that? Ki zikaron v'shicha ein shayach ki im kishikva yesh ezer das. You have to have some das. That's why Avraham Avinu couldn't have them make the bracha rishona. But Baruch Hashem, we have das. We know Hashem. Oz tzrichin lishmor zikaron livli lishkoyach es das lashkia. I have to remember. I have to now. If I have this das, I want to make sure I don't forget it. I don't want to make sure I don't forget Hashem. That's the main thing, das, to maintain it, to have it regularly with you. To have your das regularly with you. The main shleimus das comes from within the body. Like we have the light that comes from the darkness. In other words, the body is considered the darkness, and the light is considered Hashem, right? And that's the same idea. Das is no measure. Ein lo yishir. When it comes to knowledge of Hashem, it's unlimited levels. That's the oneness with Hashem. To be the one with Hashem, there's unlimited levels. Unlimited levels. Shu bechinas ein soif. Rakash Hashem is barachmav tzimtzemes or hatoira b'yois v'shiurim. But Hashem, with His great kindness, He was mitzamtzem. He constricted Himself to letters in the Torah. Hashem constricted Himself. He's ein soif. He's everything, but He constricts a part of Himself to be in the letters of the Torah. Because we are people and we can't handle too much light. It's damaging, right? The same way when it's a sunny day, you enjoy the sun, you enjoy the sunlight, but you can't look at the sun. If you look at the sun, it's damaging. But I enjoy the sunlight. So that's the Torah. The Torah is the sunlight. The example I'm trying to give, it's a silly example, but you can enjoy it, you can use it, you can have something to do with Hashem. But if you're going to look directly at Hashem, it's impossible. So the Torah is the das, and it's enclosed in the body. Oh, so that's an idea of weights and measures, right? Weights and measures. And then that's where it comes to play, the idea to remember Hashem and forget Hashem. Again, Bechira. Hashem insists that we have Bechira in this world. We have free right, free will. Hashem wants us to have free will. He does all these things in the world for us to choose Him. He wants us to choose Him. So there's this idea of Zikaron and Shichacha. Remembering Hashem and forgetting Hashem. That's the idea of Bechira, free choice. The whole idea of the Sitra Acher is to be mitzamtzem the shir. He wants to constrict the measure. Right? He wants to make you less. Like you were saying before, I'm not going to eat a whole shir of this thing. I'll only eat a little bit, so then I have to make a bracha afterwards. Right? I won't eat enough bread. I'll eat less than the kizayis of the bread. So therefore, I don't have to bench. Bebechinas guf aval be'emes ze ika shleimas hadas k'shemasigin hadas shu nefesh. When you are masig the das, which is your nefesh, which is what connects you to Hashem, bechinas zikoron mitoicha guf, that the nefesh is part within the guf. It's part of the guf. If you could remember Hashem from within the guf. Hashem made the world so we could recognize Him while we're in our guf. The malachim all know Hashem, right? Neshamas and Shemayim, they all know Hashem. It's no problem. The question is, can we, while we're physical in this world, can we recognize Hashem while we're physical in this world? And that's the main covet of Hashem. When Hashem is meloi chalaretz kavod, He fills His world with the covet, His covet, right? The greatest covet is when we down here, people that are made out of blood, flesh and blood, we can recognize Hashem. That's the greatest honor Hashem has. More than when all the angels, the malachim, the srafim, the ifanim, all the high angels. He likes all of them. But when we can remember Hashem down here, that's amazing. Hashem forged us from Chaimer, from physicality, and we can remember Hashem. Wow. When the das comes into the realm that it can be forgotten, in the klal of shkichacha. That the das comes into a place of weights and measures. It comes and it becomes, and it's nistalshel into the guf. The same way we do with the olive. We take the olive, we break the olive, we crush the olive, we press the olive, and then it becomes memory. So too with the body. When we break our body and we don't give in to the body, that means we get up in the morning to come to daven, and we get up in the morning, we come to learn. We get up in there and we go to work the way we're supposed to earn our living, so we can sustain our families. And we go to sleep on time, and we do all the things that we do. We break what the body wants to do. The body wants to stay up late, and the body wants to sleep late. The body doesn't want to do avodas Hashem, but we break the body. That's how you can break the shikha and lift up the zikaron. Okay? The main place that you can have this idea of zikaron, that's within the realm of shikha, is in the guf. Again, when the neshama is up in Shemayim, it always remembers Hashem, right? The neshama, right? In other words, when the neshama is in front of Hashem, you can't forget Hashem. But when we're in the world, we can forget Hashem. In a place where there's no measure. In Shemayim, it's ein soif. Everything's ein soif, right? The neshama becomes ein soif in Shemayim, because we're part of Hashem. But there's an idea of forgetting when it comes into the body. The body is physical. So then weights and measures come into play because it's in the body. You understand? So when you break the body, reveal the nefesh, then you have zikaron, then you have remembrance. Break the body, reveal the soul in the body, and then you have remembrance. כמבוא בדברי רבינו זכרנו לברכה לפסוק לא ימוש ספר התורה הזה מפיך לא ימוש ספר התורה הזה מפיך. Look at the word מפיך, from your mouth saying the brachas, from your mouth, remembering when you take the food in your mouth, you remember Hashem. Don't forget this Sefer Torah from your mouth. Why is it your mouth? It should be from your memory. Why does it say mipicha? Okay. V'zeh b'chinas bracha v'shana bracha achroina. Bracha v'shana ein lo shir bracha achroina yesh lo shir. So now we understand bracha v'shana. There is no shir whatever you eat because you have the das. But now I want to maintain the das. How do I maintain the das? By revealing the nefesh that was in that thing that I just ate. And if I ate enough and I was able to reveal and expose that nefesh that was in that thing, then I could then make the bracha achrona. You understand how it works?
So nefesh is only within the shear?
Within a shear.
A shear?
A measurement, when I ate enough, I was able to then reveal the nefesh, redeem the nefesh. If I ate less than a shear, I didn't redeem the nefesh.
So I think this is the same. He says, God created the world so that we come to know and perceive Him from within the body.
Yes, that's what we said.
That's what you're saying, right?
That's what I'm saying,
Because
yes.
if we break ourselves to do something, then
The body
Hashem
doesn't
becomes
want it,
revealed.
right? The body doesn't want to do it. But when you break the body to reveal Hashem that's in there, that's why I'm making the body do this, so then you reveal Hashem. Right. Because before you ate, Oz adayin loy nisgal hanefesh shu adas. You weren't misgala the nefesh. That's das. Before you ate, you didn't reveal the nefesh. V'oz tzrichin levarech bracha rishoni kidei legales adas shu hanefesh. I need to make that first bracha to reveal it. But now, how do I get it out of there? How do I lift it up? Now I revealed it's there. Because they said, oh, there's a nefesh there. The nefesh wakes up. We're going to learn in Hilchos Brachas Hareach how the nefesh, he's mereach, he smells when something's going on, right? So it smells that there's something going on over here. So then that's when I make the bracha rishona. It's awakened. But how? Now, but look what he says. Ein lo shir. There's no when you're revealing the das, there's no shear. I want to keep that das. I want to watch it. I don't want it to go away. But I never that I accepted this nefesh. That's illuminated through me eating. Again, recognizing Hashem while I'm eating it. I don't want to forget Hashem. Like it said, pen achol b'savata, right? V'romes levavecha, right? We don't want to come to that, right? I want to be able to eat, remember Hashem, right? Because I revealed there's a nefesh there, and I want to remove the nefesh. I want to elevate that nefesh. Therefore, it needs a shear. What he's trying to say is, that's what I believe it's trying to say is that there's a nefesh in whatever you're eating. Okay? Now, you revealed it by making the bracha. How do you actually elevate it? By eating the right shear and remembering it's from Hashem. That's how you remember. That's how you revealed it. You redeem the soul. You redeem the soul, and therefore you can make the bari and the foshes, rabbis, v'chesroin, and you're able to do that because you were able to actually redeem the soul from its lacking. What was it lacking? It was lacking a tikkun. Okay, ki kol zman she'ein lo yishia lo ba adayim b'chinas zikar v'neshikha. There's no measure, if it's in Shemayim, right? So it's only lofty. Or loftiness, there's no darkness, so it's only light, so then of course you can't forget. Ki zikaron ein shaya ki im kisheyesh eze dava shekiblu b'shir v'mida. You can only, if you have something with a weights and a measure, certainly I'm using weights and measure because sometimes this kizayis is done in weights, right? Sometimes they'll tell you it goes by the weight. Sometimes if it's liquid, whatever it is, it can go by the weight. It can go by the volume. Okay, so that's why I'm using weights and measure. Okay, b'shir b'mida. Sha'oz tzrichin lezachra. You have to remember. V'zeh ikar Sheleimah sadas. Ki kol zman she'ein adas b'bechina shir. If the das is not in a measure, the das is just. It's very broad. It's very big. It's ein shir. The das is too much. We said that it's like looking in the sun. It's too bright. It's no good. But if you put on your sunglasses, so then you can look at it. It's okay. You have protection. If I eat, I can then consume the das that I need and to reveal it. Then it comes into the realm. When it comes into food, right? Something, then it can be, I could remember Hashem, Right? I can remember v'zocher. I can v'zacharta es Hashem alekecha hu anaysin lecha es hakoyach. I can remember Hashem, or pen ocha v'savata v'shachachta v'ramalu avecha v'shachachta es Hashem. It becomes. It's either one. Then you have to work on your zikaron, so you shouldn't forget Hashem. So that's why while you're eating, you remember, oh Hashem, you're the one that gave me this. Hashem, you're the one that's going to, when I eat it, it goes into my body. You're the one that's going to process it for me. I understand that, Hashem. It's you that's doing that, Hashem, while I'm eating. So that way I shouldn't forget Hashem. You understand? If you keep remembering Hashem, you won't forget Him. That's why the Bracha Achrona is when you had a shear, when you had the right measure. And you remembered, you ate in the proper way, and you remembered Hashem during the thing. Now you can make the bracha achrona. Okay, b'shvil lishmo as zikaron, in order to watch what you remembered, v'liskar malas hanefesh she'ola al yedei achila, and to remember that soul that I just elevated via what I just ate. To remember the soul that I just elevated via what I just ate. Amazing. Therefore, the shear is like in the size of a kizayis. Specifically, why? The same way the olive. The same way the olive is when it's an olive itself. It causes a person to forget, but when you crush it, you press it, and it becomes oil, it has memory. So too, when I chew my food, I eat it, and I process it, and it goes into me, and I ate the right amount of shear. I revealed that nefesh, I remembered it, and that's the zikaron. Okay, the ki'ika achilo, the main thing to eat is to be satiated, but is also to satiate the nefesh. Why? Because there's a soul enclosed in whatever you're eating. That is the chiyus, that's the life force of in what you're eating. How do you like that? There's a life force in what you're eating. You hear this? Okay, and if you didn't eat a measure of a kizayis, that is, in other words, you didn't take it from the idea of forgetting to remembering Hashem. That's why it's a kizayis. The same way the zayis, as long as you don't break it and you don't press it and you don't crush it, it causes you to forget. But when you process it, you ate the kizayis, enough of it. You ate enough the measure of a kizayis. The same way you process the kizayis. Einay nikra b'shem achila ki ika hanefesh hu rakish hu bechina zeis shemen. The nefesh is only when you make it into like the oil. The same idea. Why is it called a kizayis? Because when it's as olive itself, it causes you to forget. When it's olive oil, it causes you to remember. That's why the measurement is that way. While you're eating, but you're not eating enough because I don't want to make that bracha achrona. So then you're forgetting Hashem. Of course, it's not. You didn't elevate that soul. You caused it terrible. It was terrible what you did. But if you ate enough and then you're able to make the bracha achrona, you're able to remember Hashem. You're able to elevate that soul, you lifted up that soul, you took the soul out of that food, and then when it went into you, you ate the food itself. There wasn't a soul that you ingested that's angry inside you, causing you a stomachache. You understand? Amazing. Until it comes to this idea of zikaron, it's in the realm of zikaron and shichacha. When I start eating, it has the possibility. It's a possibility. Before that, it's only das. But when I start to eat, now it becomes in the possibility. Am I going to remember Hashem or am I going to forget Hashem? Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be pen, achalta v'savata v'rametz l'vavecha v'shachachta as Hashem, or is it going to be, and I'll remember Hashem that you gave me this food? Shezeh b'china zeit shemen. That's the idea of zeit shemen. That's why I like to live on the street, Zayt Shemen, see that? I was so happy, by the way, when I got I remembered learning this, I'm going to buy an apartment on the street of Zayt Shemen. I was like, wow. You live in the Zayat. This Torah is this, you understand? We live in the Zayat, but you live on Zayt Shemen to remember Hashem. Come on, Sasha, isn't it amazing? Come on. It's amazing. I bet you when they were designing Efrat, they didn't notice, right? I have to go to the Moetzah and show them this, and they'll see how great that they were. They didn't even realize. No, what do you think, Shalom? Huh? Come on, it's great, right?
It's just a coincidence.
No, it may have been by them a coincidence, but it's so
And
deep.
I
Okay. Therefore, when you eat and you have the measure of a kizayas, right? You have enough koyach in your nefesh to give satiation to the person. He was able to elevate the soul to forget this. Okay, that's this lesson now. And tomorrow we're going to learn how eating on Shabbos is totally different. The macholim of Shabbos, when you eat on Shabbos, it's a whole different game. Okay, Wes? Yeah.
Question.
Okay, well, we'll do it after. Okay, everyone have a wonderful day. Call too.